Now I guess we already finished. So what we're going to do now is to color grade it, and we will do this by creating a new layer and press Alt Control Shift E to merge all the layers into a new layer, and then right click, convert to smart object, and now go to filter, camera raw filter. In this filter we will enhance colors and change the grading. The first thing, we are going to increase the temperature or decrease the temperature and increase the magentas. Let's go to the calibration. Let's change this blue primary hue and saturation, of course, until you're satisfied. Maybe the oranges, let's keep it as it is. Let's go to the color mixer and the saturation. We will decrease the greens because we have a lot of greens, which is not good. Aquas, yeah, decrease their saturation, and maybe decrease them a little bit more. Maybe the yellows, increase the yellows, and the reds, the oranges. Yes, before, after. This is a very subtle effect. And then let's go to the basics. So firstly, let's change, open up the shadows, these shadow parts, and then let's increase the contrast a little bit. Exposure, I guess let's leave it as it is. Highlights, increase them a little bit, and let's go to the texture, increase the textures a little bit, and dehaze, maybe we can dehaze it. Maybe increase the contrast and decrease the exposure. And let's go to the effects, adding the vignetting effect, but it's not good because it's also affecting the rocky part, which is already dark, so I don't like it. We can create it manually later. So let's get this back to 0. So let's go with the color grading, or let's increase the saturation, the vibrance first, and let's go to the details, increase the details. Next we will go to the color grading. In this part I will give some color to the shadows and give specific color to the highlights, and this will unify and blend our image better, as you can see. Now the shadows has some bluish color. Let's make it a little bit darker, like so. And let's make the highlights a little bit orangey, and let's open them up like this, or darken them down. Very good. Maybe we can increase the reds saturation and the oranges. Now we're good to go, I guess. I guess that's enough. Maybe we can add some greens, then press OK. Very good. Here's before and here is after. Next, let's create a curves adjustment layer, like this, and using luminosity I will create the vignetting effect, but it will only affect the parts that I want. Press Ctrl I into the mask and make the brush bigger, and let's darken the edges like so. This will frame our composition and will make us focus mainly into our focal points. Next, we can create a gradient from the adjustments. Here, gradient, and let's choose specific, some bluish color, this one, or maybe this saturated one. Press into the radial gradient and inverse it, and let's put the center into the moon part, and then let's change the blending mode into let's say soft light, I guess. Maybe decrease the fill like so, 7%, Maybe we can change this color into desaturated one. Yeah, this one will be better. Very cool. Here's before, here's after. It's a very subtle effect. And next, let's add some glowy effect. We can do this by creating a solid color adjustment layer and using the color dodge. This will create glow effect. So let's choose an orangey saturated color like this one. Change the blending mode into color dodge, and it's press Ctrl I to invert the mask. Let's decrease the flow of the brush, and let's draw some glow around these orange parts. Here, some very subtle glow, very subtle, like this. This is very subtle, but it gives our visual some tone, some color tone. Here's before, here is after. This is cool. Maybe we can create a new solid color by duplicating this layer and change the color into bluish color like this one, or this one, dark one. Press OK, and then press Ctrl I, and let's draw some bluish color into the dark parts and also into some of the light parts. Here, here, here. This color grading step is something you can do according to your test. So this is subjective, something that this is how you think and how you want the design to look like. It's your opinion, and each color grading will deliver a specific message. So here I'm now using the tones of the blue and the orangey, the hazy, the dreamy ones. So here is the design. Here is before color grading, and here is after color grading. Very cool. And that's it. Here is the final product after tweaking a lot of things. As you can see here, I took my time to create two versions. This version was warm, and the highlights was having some green tint and some yellow tint. And as you can see, I took my time, and this one was like dreamy and fancy. And of course this one, the details in this visual is better than we have already made, because I took my time to edit every tiny detail. This took me about 8 hours of working, so we cannot make our tutorial like 8 hours. This will be very long. So I've tried to teach you the basic stuff and how did I do things, and you can adjust every tiny detail according to how you see it and the time you have. So that was it, guys. Thank you and see you. Okay guys, thanks for watching. I hope you benefited and most importantly had fun. See you soon in the next classes. Peace.